Hey everybody! Welcome to Casual Shenanigans Gaming, a podcast all about Battlefield, DayZ, PC gaming stuff.
And then sometimes whatever we want.
Well, it's America. It can be about whatever we want. I'm one of your hosts, Germ Gaming. We're actually late tonight because of me, so sorry about that. I am joined by my co-host, Chris.
Hello.
Dave.
Hey folks, I am Dave, the not so evil Viking 13.
Joel.
How do you do, folks?
All right. And Steve.
Howdy.
And
It's getting western up in here tonight.
We've got a real fun podcast for you guys tonight. But we start every podcast, as always, with the news. First item.
Thought you were going to say a song for a minute.
We have never started the podcast with a song.
Didn't Joel sing a loot song once?
I don't remember. So we have done a loot podcast. We were arguing about that ahead of time. Not arguing, discussing.
We have not done a loot
intensely.
podcast. We have discussed loot a lot of times.
Dave
in
and Joel
rabbit
want
trails.
one dedicated to loot.
Yeah. We can't do it
a-
tonight because James.
You know,
can't
Dave, not
make it
everything is
tonight.
about loot. Not everything is about loot. Get over
That's
it.
where I disagree.
To most people, it is.
Hey,
So,
if you guys want to hear a podcast all about looting, and loot, write into the show and tell us. Fight for us.
And actually, speaking of things you can write in, I think you can submit questions. I don't know if you can do that if you're watching on YouTube, but there's this question app thing that we activated on this. So if you're able to watch and ask questions, go for it. Otherwise, you can just ask them in comments like you normally do. But if you ask any questions, we'll answer them during the show. All right, let's get this rolling. Start going. Star Citizen continues to churn out funding. Developer Cloud Imperium have announced a $20 million stretch goal for the game. If the game receives that much funding, which is likely, first-person combat will be added on select lawless planets. If the game reaches $25 million, each copy of the finished game will come with a digital girlfriend to ride along in your spaceship and tell you how handsome you are. $30 million, and you get fulfillment.
That sounds really dirty.
Yeah, that sounded terrible.
Between the girlfriend avatar and
Sorry, I
fulfillment.
mean like life fulfillment. Like if you fund it for $30 million, you'll be happy forever.
Should not have followed the girlfriend with that. I'm just saying.
No.
It's just-
All right, guys. Sorry about that.
How did Joel miss that one, man? Low hanging fruit.
Talking about your mom again?
Whoa!
Joel, even you can shoot a little bit higher than that. So, our official boutique PC builder, or PC manufacturer of the show, CyberPower PC,
Yeah.
have announced yet another gaming computer.
Oh no!
All right, who wants to take guesses on the name? Let's
I
get some
do.
submissions. All right, go for it.
Max Blaster 2013.
Jeremiah just almost spewed soda all over his keyboard. That was so close. That was. So
I was just
close.
using my nickname that your mom called me.
Why, Joel?
I'm so sorry.
Okay, that was pretty good.
That was really bad. Sorry.
You set that one up and spiked it.
But I didn't. I just thought of it afterwards, and I realized that's actually a lot worse than I thought it was going to be.
After what?
After the words left his mouth before he actually processed them.
All right,
Yeah.
so CyberPower PC have announced
man.
yet another gaming computer. The Zeus Book Ultimate series are the thinnest and lightest 17-inch gaming notebooks in the world.
Quick question: are they a stone tablet?
No, I tried to say that like Jezza. I don't think it worked.
Are they following up
no.
with a cheaper model called the Demigod?
Yeah, anyway, they're the thinnest and lightest 17-inch gaming notebooks, according to CyberPower PC. They come in two models, named the Ultimate 100 and the Ultimate 200. These laptops boast 1080p displays, i7 processors, 8 gigs of RAM, and GTX 765 graphics. They also feature Killer N1202 networking. If you're not familiar with Killer, they make networking cards that are a waste of money because networking cards don't improve your gaming performance.
They do by like 4%, Jeremiah. Your ping drops by 4%.
I am using a wireless USB adapter. I'm 100 feet from my router, and I usually have a ping of 20.
Look, just because you're a filthy casual and can't afford $200 for a 4% drop in your ping doesn't mean the rest of us PC elitists can't enjoy the good stuff.
Yeah. the Ultimate 200 will give you a 60 gigabyte SSD to complement the 1 terabyte hard drive. The 60 gigabyte SSD is too small to hold any games or be useful, but it's still an option. I mean, seriously, 60 gigabytes, what can you do with that? Nothing. If you're a gamer, that's like Windows and 2 games.
2 small games, like Call of Duty or something like that.
Ooh, alright. You remember from after our PS4, or after E3, we were talking about the PS4 press conference. I totally called this one. Sony have announced the PS Vita TV. It's not actually a TV or a Vita, but the PS Vita TV is about the size of an iPhone, and it plugs into your television of choice. It lets you play Vita games on the big screen using a DualShock 3 controller. I didn't call any of that. But it will eventually let you play PS4 games using remote play after the PS4 comes out. So it's like an Apple TV, but you can stream your PS4 games across your network. It has slots for Vita games and memory cards and costs about $95 in yen. It's only been released in Japan so far. It's not officially announced for the West, but it's presumed that it's coming here sometime soon. But that's really cool. It is kind of like a Vita without a screen, and it'll let people play Vita games on a big screen, and it will let people stream their PS4 games across their house to like other TVs, which is a really cool feature.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
World of Warcraft has experienced a large drop in revenue over the past 7 months. The popular MMO used to bring in upwards of $200 million every month.
Jeez.
Better than the drug trade. It has now slipped to around $93 million a month, which is a big drop, but still, that's almost $100 million a month. So
employees at Blizzard are now sleeping on slightly smaller piles of money at night.
I mean, to put that in perspective, like a game is considered to do pretty well if it sells like 1 million copies is pretty good. 5 million copies is like amazing. So it's like World of Warcraft has been selling 2 million copies every month for almost 10 years. That's the type of money we're talking about, or all the years that it's been at that level. So, it's almost 10 years old. The typical response to such a large drop in revenue for an MMO is to go free to play. But WoW is in the unique position of being close to 10 years old. It's built on really old code and really old gameplay mechanics some of the time. And switching to free to play would probably require so many changes to the core gameplay. It's unlikely to happen. I mean, honestly, Blizzard's probably working on their next generation MMO. So I doubt they're going to do anything with that. But yeah. Chivalry Deadliest Warrior, the TV show tie-in expansion to Chivalry Medieval Warfare, has unveiled the
TV tie-in.
There's the TV show Deadliest Warrior.
Oh, got it.
They're releasing an expansion for Chivalry.
I thought Chivalry was actually making a TV show. I was like, holy crap! How many did they sell during the Steam sale?
That'd be a bloody TV show, full of annoying dialogue. They've unveiled the full roster of warriors. Gold. In addition to Spartans and Samurai, which we already knew about, players will be able to play as a Viking, pirate, ninja, or knight. So the knight is really a big stretch for them, They'll really have to dig deep to come up with the knight character. And the last and most important bit of news, the Steam family sharing has been announced as of last night.
So good.
This new feature isn't yet in beta, but will allow users to share their Steam libraries with up to 10 other users. There are a few limitations. Users can't access games while simultaneously playing on their own Steam accounts, meaning like if I want to play a game of Joel's and Joel wants to play a different game in his own library, I have to get booted out of the game or buy the game myself. So, that's a limitation. Games with multiplayer keys can't share the multiplayer portions of the game because you need a unique key. And games with secondary software required to run them, like Uplay, probably can't be shared. That wasn't a definite, but they said, it kind of depends on the developer. Nevertheless, this is an amazing new feature that is totally not like the family sharing features on the Xbone that were dumped when Microsoft ditched the always online requirement. Microsoft was going to try to do this, but people took issue with all the other features of the console that they dumped. I mean, those features were pretty terrible, to be fair. And they dumped those, so they did get rid of this feature, which is pretty cool. But I am super excited about this. I don't know about you.
Can we talk about this for a second?
Of course we can.
This is a huge thing.
We have a real big roster we have to get through, Joel. Go ahead.
No, I would love to talk about the Steam thing. It makes me excited because it's getting close to what I am so excited about the PS4 is how the PS4 has the share screen so you could watch your friend play a game. And for me, that's exciting because I can see someone who says, this game is really good. But for me, I'm like, nah, it doesn't look that great. But watching my friend play it and explain to me why he likes it, I might try buying it. And with the Steam share, I think, I'm just so excited about this because I can try out a game that Dave says is really good. Although Dave will probably be always on Steam, so I'll never get to try his games.
Or just like Rome 2, I will casually talk about it for a while. You'll seem not interested at all, and then on launch day, you'll just buy it out of nowhere. No warning.
That's what I'm looking forward to taking advantage of, is people like Joel who impulse buy games. I'll be like, hey, buddy.
I know, you're gonna be like, hey Joel, did you guys hear about this game and this game and this game? I'm like, no, you guys gonna get it? Oh yeah, we're really gonna get it. You should totally buy it. We're gonna buy it at the same time, right? It's
gonna turn into
promise, buddy, promise.
It's gonna be a 5-way game of chicken. Like, who's gonna buy it first and then share it?
It stinks. We're all in the same time zone. We could really take advantage of this if someone lived in like Hawaii or something.
Quick, Skinner, move there. Actually, no, I'll move to Hawaii.
In all seriousness, how many hours a day do you guys spend actively playing something on Steam? For me, most nights it's like an hour or less, probably, if I'm playing something that night. So it's not that much of a stretch, I mean,
mostly
I see
thanks
this
to Origin.
I see this being really useful. Being able to trade like those new special games, like when someone say like what I'm doing, when I get my AMD reward games, my 3 free games I'm going to get to pick out. Maybe I pick out like 3 brand new games and we can just share them on Steam so everyone can play them as soon as they come out. Like that would be really cool.
Now I feel like I'm curious to know how this is going to work, if this is going to be really good for Steam or not, because a game like Amnesia, like you guys probably won't buy it, but I'll play it. It's only like a 6.5, maybe 7-hour game. But
I was really concerned that was a 30-minute game.
Oh, 30 minutes, no more. I'd be like, you guys, you should try it. It's really good, but you don't have to buy it. So
have you guys played Amnesia? Who's played Amnesia?
I have played 6 hours. Sorry, Chris.
20 minutes.
10 minutes.
I made it to the room with the water, and you've got to walk on there's the water, and you're up on the blocks.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
I don't know how I can't spoil it. I don't know how it is.
Just describe it as the water room.
I was playing the game as you're supposed to, with the lights off and the sound up loud.
Good man.
And headphones on. And I didn't stop playing it because it was too scary, but I definitely quit the game a couple times because I was like, all right, going to bed.
What got me was like, I really enjoy the game and it is really scary, but it's really, really stressful to play. Like it is really stressful. And most of the time when I'm gaming, I want to like be relaxing.
Exactly.
And so I'm spending an hour sitting in front of this thing, like sweating bullets. Like I'm enjoying it, but
it's like watching Breaking Bad. You're just like,
yes.
You're sitting there going, nothing's happened, but something's going to.
Dude, I want to record watching me play, but I don't want to do it because
your channel definitely needs a let's play of that, Joel.
Please, Joel.
A Machine for Pigs just came out.
You should have. But I think I feel so bad because it's going to be so full of swearing. I was playing earlier tonight before I play all the lights off because I don't know, I like a real immersive, and whenever I have lights on and I see a reflection on the screen, I hate that, so I'm like, I just turn it off. So I'm playing the game, and oh my gosh, I'm just like, Lord Almighty, oh my gosh! And then there was this part where it's not, you're just like in this area, and I'm trying to find the way out, and I got lost. I could not find the exit, and this gate shuts, so you're just stuck. And in this new game, there's these like pig things, and it's dude, it's absolutely frightening. But they do the scares very differently than the first game. Where this one, they actually tease a little bit more of the thing you're about to like come upon, and oh my gosh, it's terrifying because they slowly sneak up on you, and oh dude, like I was like, and then afterwards, since I was stuck in this place, I'm like, come on, get me out. And I was almost just gonna turn the lights off and just stop. So I was like, okay, I gotta go into like military mode here. So I started just like swearing at the pig thing. I was like, come on, fight me, you little. And I was just like getting so angry because I was like, come on, where are you? Because I'm like, where are you? I turned my flashlight off and I'm hiding in a little corner, and I'm like, the music goes down, it's really quiet, and there's this machinery going And I'm just waiting. I'm like, if I turn my flashlight on, and I swear, if it's right in front of me, I'm just gonna like smack it. I'm gonna smack my screen. And I made it past the part, and I was like, yeah! I was like Jesse from Breaking Bad. I'm like, bitch. It's great, but you should play.
I just want to hear Joel describe his Let's Play now. Like, just describe it.
Just think about when that game gets ported to the Oculus Rift.
Dude, I told my wife that I was like, as much as it's gonna be scary as crap, I really want that so bad. I'm gonna sit on the toilet while I play.
All right, there aren't many games that the Oculus Rift won't make way better if it turns out to be good. Like, it'll pretty much make everything better. If it turns out to be good, that's the big iffy.
I'll have some new holes in my wall.
But yeah, the Steam family sharing thing. What does some of the rest of you guys think about it? Like, what are your thoughts?
I'm excited just as a way to try stuff out.
I think that's why they're probably doing it.
I'm hoping that the follow-up offer is the option to be able to give games after you're done playing them.
That would, or sell them at a discount or something. That would be nice.
Yeah, or even, I mean, if they wanted to monetize that again, good for them. But yeah, I mean, I'd just be fine with being able to give stuff away. It's like, hey, I'm done with this. You can play it. I'm not going to play it again, probably.
Right.
That honestly would be a good idea. Imagine you could sell your game back for, I don't know, $30, right? So let's say if you bought it right away, you know, you get a semi discount if you buy it from a friend, but then, you know, you obviously don't have it, but they make like $5 off of it, or $3, or $2.
It's a good deal. I mean, as long as the developer and everybody gets a cut, it's a good deal.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good deal only if that was a sale that wouldn't have occurred otherwise.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's people like, I beat a game, I sell it to you for $1, you sell it to Dave for $1 when you're done.
No,
like,
no, but the thing is, you can't name your price. Let's say you can't name your price though. Like I think if they had a set price, where like, let's say it comes out at $60, I play it, and you can resell your game after a certain amount of days.
Oh, that would be smart.
It's not like it's lost any value though. So what is it going to do? Just go for the MSRP, like whatever it's listed as. You can just.
Yeah, but like,
why not just buy it from the store then, you know, and keep it in your library?
It'd have to be
a digital
at a discount,
product.
I think. Well, yeah, that's true. If it's a digital product, like, I don't know what's the advantage of buying it from a friend.
There's nothing that you're selling, technically, that they aren't.
Yeah, unless you're getting it cheaper, but then, I don't know. I doubt that'll ever work.
It comes with
it'd be
friendship.
cool if it could.
It'll happen one of these days, I know.
I'm actually very, very
if you could
surprised
trade games, that would be cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Can I trade back SimCity?
No. I still can't believe that they got any publishers at all on board with this. Like, that's a pretty huge accomplishment.
The SimCity
but I guess,
thing,
I mean, console people have had that for a while. We just walk over to each other's houses and borrow games.
And you
like
almost
real
weren't going to get to this generation.
I know.
On the Xbox.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Until you guys hit the internet and complained. Good job, internet.
Except, well, no, we would just have what Steam has right now. So actually, no, we would have it.
No, except you... The difference is, if you don't like Steam's way of doing it, you can go get games from other places, like Good Old Games, or Origin, or Uplay, or any of the other places that lets you just download your games or buy them as physical copies. The problem with the Xbox was, if you didn't like it, you could just go pound sand. So, that's the difference.
There's actually not that many other companies now that you can buy games from, because, okay, let's say you buy...
I mean, Steam's definitely the biggest.
Let's say you buy Skyrim from Amazon. You can't play it without Steam.
Is Skyrim a Steam-only game? Some games are Steam-only.
Pretty sure you have to register it online somewhere through something, right? Yep. I don't think it's just like on its own, like Oblivion.
No, I mean, you are right, but like you still have the entire backlog of PC games and all the games that you still.
So I mean, you can play older games. So 3 or 4 years from now, you can only play old games. I'm just being realistic. Better. So I'm like, yeah, you can go. I mean, you can go to Origin. Okay, I can't play Battlefield.
The Xbox was going to be nothing. Like, if you don't like it, tough. But this is
that feature though would have been cool to share though. I think that it would have a cool idea. It'd be nice to have both, but yeah, you know, I guess it's not going to happen. But soon it is going to be like trading games physically. That isn't still an awesome option, and it's going to go away from digital pretty soon. I mean, other than the Steam, we'll see if it works out well.
It's rumored that SimCity, after your SimCity comment, it's rumored that SimCity is going to be in the next set of games added to the AMD Never Settle bundle, along with Battlefield 4. So I'll be honest, I'm a little bit tempted if they've gotten everything straightened out with SimCity. Like, have you, Joel and Dave, have you played it in the last 4 or 5 months.
I haven't played it in forever.
Okay, real talk time. I have like 200 plus hours, including like all my idle time in SimCity. You will get a lot of fun out of the game, but there will be a cliff when you realize that you've hit the point where the gameplay just has no depth left, and you're going to put it down and just never pick it up again. But
if that cliff happens at 200 hours, that's not bad.
Exactly.
If the cliff happens at 20, I'd honestly be happy. If it's a game I'm getting for free.
There you go. Yeah, I think it's worth picking up. Just expect
but you're going to get Battlefield 4 for free if you get an AMD card? Or AMD?
It was confirmed earlier this year that will be in one of their packages later this year. So that's how I'm getting Battlefield 4. I'm not going to get it at launch. I'm getting it when the package, like when it gets added.
So that might be after launch then.
It might be. It's whenever the
filthy
new
casual.
The Tahiti
I'm pissed that Splinter Cell is taken over by Batman Arkham Origins.
I'm hoping Splinter Cell and
for
Battlefield
the NVIDIA
4 will be on AMD. That's what I'm hoping. I'll be able to snap both of them up.
I started that the other day.
Which one?
Splinter Cell.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah, it's enjoyable so far. No.
Thank you for the going review.
Whatever games.
What? I thought you played. We never played any together?
Nope.
Oh, dude. I played them all. I love them.
Yeah, I'm excited.
See if we had
I was hoping to get it with my
sharing.
NVIDIA card that Skinner doesn't want me to get, but it sucks that...
Okay, Joel, for
no, we're not going to talk about
$200, you can get a 7950, which when overclocked, Ask Dave is within spitting distance of a GTX 680.
I looked that card. I looked the card up.
$200, and they'll give you 3 free games.
No, look at this. I looked the card up. And go on Newegg, and if you look at the reviews, all the cons are horrible, horrible drivers. Horrible drivers.
No, that's...
Look it up. I mean, it's just that. I don't know.
And as someone who's been using only AMD cards since 2009...
Hey, remember, you're the person who wasn't able to get into Battlefield 3 like all the time? Remember?
That wasn't a graphics driver
That's totally
issue.
AMD, guys. That's the truth.
Joel has diagnosed Jeremiah's computer over the internet.
Joel, people still complain about the AMD drivers, but they've been complaining for years. I honestly... Chris, you had an AMD card for a couple years. Did you have any issues?
No.
I didn't either. I had a 4890, a 6870, and now a 7950.
Well, you guys are PC wizards.
I'm not a wizard. I installed the drivers. That's it. I put on my magical wizard hat and waved my wand and went install. And then I overclocked it, and then it just worked.
Shh, don't give away our secrets.
The only driver issues I've had is my video card came with an extra DVI port, which isn't standard on the base design. So the driver support for that was a little bit wonky at first, but that was a non-standard option. But that got cleared up, and I haven't had any problems with that. But that's like the only issue. Dude, a 7950, get 2 of them, run them in Crossfire. Then you'll have a $400 set of graphics cards, which beats a Titan by like 30%, and you'll get 6 free games.
That is a pretty sweet deal. I'm not gonna
lie.
lie.
One thing I hate about this podcast is that I'm like turning into more of a
You're
PC.
always wrong.
No, I'm not sure why I'm even on this podcast.
Single tier.
I feel like more each day I'm either turning more into a PC goon or just like floating away into my little bubble world.
PC
with a
goon.
PS4 and sharing. I don't know.
We're like the PC mafia now.
So, you guys want to move on and get to an actual topic?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we get like 10 minutes left. Let's go for it.
Our first topic is going to be the Daisy Dev blog, which actually released last week during the podcast, and we couldn't watch it when we wanted to because we were playing Arma with you guys. Thank you to everyone who came out to play Arma with us. We're sorry that Arma's server join system is terrible, and we'll keep.
And for those of you, sorry, go ahead.
We'll keep doing them in the future. Hopefully, the server issues are less horrible in the future.
This is Arma, though.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that
today.
Yes, indeed.
Sorry, you were going to say something before I interrupted you twice.
I was going to respond to a comment on the last video. The Daisy Dev blog actually went live during our podcast with Daskro and Mantis, and several people in the comments actually saw when it went live because one of them posted it in the comments. And apparently, you can see my eyes get really big on the video feed when they posted the link. So, yes, you guys were correct. That was when I saw that the dev blog went live. Don't you judge me. Yeah, Arma 3, though. That's pretty exciting. Finally officially released.
1 second.
Jeremiah's like, no, I'm done talking about Arma now. That was it. It's out. End topic.
No. Yeah, Arma 3 released. The actual topic, the DayZ devlog. So it came out, and we watched it. We did a casual conversation. It's up. You guys should watch it. But the big thing I got out of it was actually, and I might have to leave in a minute or two, and then I'll be back. It's getting windy here, so I might have to go put my awning in. But so if I have to hop up, if I feel like if it starts going like this and I hop up and run out, that's why.
If your camera like rolls over upside down, it's all going horribly
I should
wrong.
tell you about the time where it ripped loose from the side of my domicile and started slamming into it at 2 in the morning.
I've heard this story. This is a good story.
It's a good story. I won't tell it now. It's a little long, but anyway.
So what'd you get out of the devblog?
The devblog, yes. I'm sorry. You ever have that, like, there's a topic there and you're just kind of circling the direction?
Crack does that. Jeremiah. Crack does that to you, Jeremy.
I'm looking at my seat. What did you get out of it? Tell me.
Okay. So, honestly, this was the first devblog that I got the inventory system. All the other ones, I've been looking at the inventory system, like I've seen them move stuff around, and I was like, yeah, all right, okay. But this is the first one where I actually thought the inventory system looked really good, and it looked like something I wanted. What did you guys think? Or what did you think about the whole devblog in general? Like, what was your favorite, least favorite, interesting parts? Let's go down the line.
It actually looked fairly polished. Yeah, I was really excited. It looked quite polished for what they have so far. They don't have.
You want to know why, Joel? No zombies.
Yeah, that is why. Yeah, that is totally why. But I feel like we talked about this because we talked the other thing.
Well, we did the casual conversations thing.
Yeah, so I don't want to tell everyone again.
Steve, it was cool. What were your thoughts? Sorry, Joel. No, you didn't.
Go ahead, Steve. Yeah, I'm done.
The billboard was definitely a highlight. I did like that.
Alcohol, no book.
That's right. No, I mean, overall, I think for me, the inventory was a big deal because I had seen it like you a few times. But seeing like kind of how they've made it so that, you're able to click and drag things into different areas of it. You're actually loading clips. You're actually going through the different steps, when you're talking about
magazines.
Yeah, magazines. I know that. I'm sorry.
So much judgment.
Chris made me watch an entire video on this too.
I'm so proud of you, Chris.
Right.
Loading magazines. I don't know, when you're talking about, an open world where you're, getting to create your own story and stuff, that kind of thing, to me is really appealing, where it makes it even more intricate and realistic. So getting to see some of that in the blog was nice. But
Dave?
Actually, I have some tweet updates along with the dev blog too.
Okay.
You guys want to hear some
Stalker
of those?
updates, you mean?
100% stalker. Fresh off the tweeter.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, the dev blog, I think polished was the first thing that came to mind, just because with all the new animations, so that they were like smoother in the transitions, seeing the inventory being fully functional, and how they've already added changes from feedback from Gamescom 1 week later for a devlog video, and plus the fact that he actually didn't record this at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Friday just to get it up as quickly as possible. He actually took some time to do the commentary to make sure his settings were correct. Like, it all was just very, very polished. But as far as stuff going on this week, on the 9th, the entire team moved offices. They have a full office now. And I've heard, and I can't cite this, I lost my source, total members working on the team, both in office and freelancers. Quiet, Jeremiah. There's now about 30 people working on the game. So maybe with Arma 3 winding down, they're also getting some more full-time members.
Yeah, maybe Bohemia can be like, just kick over an extra 20 people or so.
Okay, this sold 1.8 million copies of Arma 2. Maybe we can give it some more resources.
Chris?
Also, what?
Oh, you weren't done?
But the tweeters.
I'm sorry. Tell me the tweeters. You sounded like you ended the sentence.
Yeah, there's more coming. More stalking.
All right.
Actually, I was going to mention the network bubble that's being worked on. Actually, the two guys that wrote the original virtual reality engine are the two guys doing the network bubble. So it should be actually really well written.
No, that doesn't make me confident at all. The two guys who wrote a horribly optimized engine that calculates stupid things that no one cares about all the time for everyone in the whole map are writing the network bubble.
But now they're fixing it.
You know what I found out today about the Arma engine?
What?
The fact that it's really old, it only ever optimizes one core and up to 4 gigs of RAM.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
That's why I saw such a big performance increase when I went to an Intel. Is the per core performance of Intel is so much greater that it does not matter how multi-core processor is. It just doesn't care.
If you think about it, though, like, do you really want some new programmer trying to crack the hood open on this thing and like dig in there?
I was really just joking around. I mean, they understand the engine really well. I'm sure they understand its weaknesses. I mean, they built a really amazing engine. It breaks a lot because it's trying to do things that are much more ambitious than any other game tries to do. That's why. I mean, that's why it has issues. So no, I think they're probably some of the best people to be working.
To skim through the rest of the updates on Twitter, they're already working on the new zombie AI. We probably still won't see it in alpha, but it shouldn't be too long after alpha, which is impressive for like a full redesign of the entire zombie concept. They're already working on that. They had the first code commits for the network bubble, so they're doing some testing for that already. They already have Melee set up, like a new Melee system that's supposed to be not necessarily like Left 4 Dead awesome, but much, much better than what we have in the mod. It's supposed to be a
Someone needs to start up an underground boxing ring in DayZ. Bare knuckle boxing.
Yes, please.
A fight club.
The first rule of DayZ Fight Club.
You should tell everybody.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm in Trino. Fisticuffs. What else we got here? He also tweeted a picture of a massive baseball bat as one of their first test items. Also confirmed is a machete, which I'm sure Joel cannot wait to plunge into my back the first time I turn my back on him. Instant machete. Other stuff, more Melee tweaks, more survival stuff, which is kind of generic, but I think the survival stuff is my favorite part of DayZ. Like, forget the zombies. I want to survive out in the woods, so I like the sound of survival stuff.
You mean camping, not survival.
That's
what you do, Dave. Without the zombies and without anyone else, you would stay in the woods and just camp by yourself.
Actually, that sounds
and collect
kind of
beans
awesome.
and hoard. You would play a camping simulator, wouldn't you?
Yes. Yeah, I probably would. As long as I can loot and, like, you know, build fires and explore.
Most people don't call it looting; they call it like gathering firewood. But whatever.
I will loot my firewood.
Do you call it looting when you go to the grocery store? I'm looting the grocery store.
I do now. And there's also a quick mention here of some new buildings, including a new tenement building and a police station. So that's the
good man. Maybe we'll find guns in the police station now instead of the firehouse, which always seems like a weird place to be finding assault rifles.
Look, when you go to respond to a
you
fire,
gotta fight fire with firearms.
You know what would have been cool is if
no, I'm done. That's it.
if they had a Kickstarter for this game for DayZ, it'd been cool if you paid like $100 or $300 or $500, whatever. You get to have a house built after you, so it could be like Dave's cabin, and it'd be full stock of like all sorts of weapons in the walls and crap.
It's called pay to win, Joel. That's not cool.
No. It's not yours. It's
it's just a house full of guns.
Yeah.
That anyone can loot, Jeremiah.
Yeah,
that anyone can loot. Unlike if you come to my house, you cannot loot my guns.
So, are you guys ready for something?
No, Chris still has to talk to us about the DayZ dev blog.
Okay.
I didn't have a whole lot to say other than it's just nice to see the polish. It feels like they're building a game instead of a mod now, and I fully approve of that.
Well, you guys talk about that while I go keep my domicile from blowing over. I'll be right.
Is there a way to push a link out to everyone?
Drop it in the comments on the video right now.
You can't post URLs in the comments on YouTube.
Oh yeah, never mind. You can't do that.
Oh, you can't. Dang it!
Tweet it out. Give it to Dave to tweet out.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Okay. Yeah, Dave, you can see the chat right here, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Well, this is something I talked to Dave a long time ago. You know that about DayZ is not the only game that's going to come out, and that it's going to have a lot of competition. Well, I just heard about this game just about 3 hours ago. It's called The Nether or something. Saw it on IGN. It's the only video that's out. You can go to, I forget what the website's called now. It's like Nether. The Nether.com. Yeah, playnether.org actually. Playnether.org.
.org? What?
Yeah. I don't think it's .com. Anyways, take a look at this game, guys. If you guys want to go ahead and click play and you can watch it, I'll just talk through it.
Yeah.
But it's on the Unreal Engine and it looks really good, but basically it's DayZ. I mean, I have no idea how many people can be in the game, but this is like pre-alpha or something like that. But
yeah,
it looks really good.
It looks pretty cool. Yeah,
yeah.
I like the city environment.
Yeah, when the characters get down to the ground, they're walking around a whole bunch of urban streets and stuff. It looks pretty awesome. So I'm very excited to see what this game comes in. But
it's still a bit like Last of Us, the game multiplayer, like open world version of it.
It's going to be full survival and everything.
Nice.
If you read the article, yeah. So this is going to be another DayZ game. So it'll be interesting to see.
Definite DayZ janky style player animations right now. Perfect.
Yeah. But it looks pretty awesome, and man, it'll be interesting to see. It's going to run way better than DayZ, I'll tell you that. FPS
Looks like
wise,
they're really limiting the view distance with all their atmospheric effects.
That's a lot of fog. Yeah. Actually, I noticed, Chris, that they have kind of the close-up city buildings, right? And it was like 2 blocks away, it was just fog oblivion and then like a painted city background. So it's obviously very early, but I thought that was kind of funny to see like a massive just oblivion drop-off.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this game develops, but, you know, if DayZ doesn't come out kicking and doing really good off the bat, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to catch up really fast.
And you know what, Joel?
So
Dean didn't just invent DayZ, he really did invent an entirely new genre of games, like multiplayer, open-world survival games. And what's so cool is, like, DayZ doesn't really have to compete. He made it
work. That's more of the thing. He made it work. Because there's been games that kind of do something like that, not the zombie side.
I mean, the idea might not have been new, but his concept, his version of the idea, and the fact that he made it work and made people realize that people actually want that, like, that was pretty revolutionary. And there's plenty of room, I think, for a whole bunch of other games in this genre. Like, they don't all have to be like hardcore DayZ, 18 Diseases survival games. They don't all have to be really crappy ripoffs like the Infestation Survivor stories.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there's going to be a game that's going to rival DayZ in exactly what DayZ is. Because there's going to be a company that loves DayZ, and they're like, hey, I think we can make a better version of this that's going to be hardcore, if not more hardcore, but just overall way better polished. And so I think we're all going to thank
games moving. I mean,
yeah,
you know, it's really the next step of multiplayer, this kind of large, persistent world kind of stuff. You see, I mean, that's the direction MMOs are moving. That's the direction shooters are moving. It's going to be a common theme, I think.
Yeah, very few people like those tight, contained experiences now. People want everything to be open and dynamic and interactive.
It's really it's really just a sandbox evolved. You know, people have been doing it for a while, but it's just not on the level that they want.
Yeah, even with GTA 5 Online, like,
which looks amazing.
I know. It, like, for me, I go, oh, it's GTA DayZ, because it's like, it's not just straight up multiplayer. It's drive vehicles, crash things, you know, go around trying to take money.
Is the key. It's persistent.
Yeah. So
I will disagree on one thing, Joel. I really don't think that we're going to see any games, at least not for a long while, that come close to the just. It's hard to quantify what hardcore means, but to the hardcore level of DayZ, just because I don't see any publishers or even any developers like getting on board with that really, really risky stuff, like punishing the player kind of stuff. I think DayZ is going to be alone in that for a while.
I don't know. I'm going to doubt you on that, because they see how profitable it is. So yeah, even like the game like Division,
it hasn't been yet.
That's the flip side,
before. Obviously there was a huge thing. It came from nothing to now a game. Yeah. So I think people have seen that. So and they realize, hey, we could make a big profit on it. I don't know if they know if it will yet, but they know, it's a huge chance.
It could go either way. Either everyone's going to be too scared to do it, and DayZ will be the only one who does it for a while, or everyone says, like, look, this got really popular, we all have to try it. It could go either way, but I don't think personally
people are taking a lot of cues from it, but because of the very isolated way that DayZ grew up as a mod of Arma, as something that's punishing, just because most games don't even do that. I think, you know, one of the closer comparisons of games that are heading this direction would be Star Citizen. You know, it's talking about an open, persistent world. I think the granddaddy of all this is Eve. But
yeah.
The reason it works, I think, is it's persistent, it's harsh, and it takes that same kind of hardcore commitment as DayZ, even though it's steps beyond. But I bring Star Citizen up because I think that's, you know, taking a similar concept to both, to Eve and DayZ, you know, a hard, persistent world with consequences, but you see a lot of things that are a little bit more mainstream popping up at the same time. And it will be interesting to see if this hits the sweet spot or if it kind of, maybe doesn't quite work as well because there's not as much there.
I hope it hits the sweet spot. I want Star Citizen to be good so bad.
I hope it does too, but like all the things like ship insurance and all of, there's a lot of systems to make it easier for the player, which is going to kind of be gamed in the end, the same way we gamed tents respawning, gear, which does take away from that, survival, difficult, persistent experience. Because as the player, we were constantly looking for ways to break the persistent aspect, in that even just having a camp makes it so that you can go between lives and string together kind of one narrative. So
your new character wakes up with full memory intact of where the tents are.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, because the game, it's not just unfair in the sense that reality's unfair. The game was unfair in the sense that it would break and screw you over. So
obviously, we don't want that kind of unfair.
I'd say 50% of what DayZ hardcore is not necessarily the game being hardcore, but how it was still built. Like, the game is it's slow, it's very janky, the way you have to do everything.
The word of the day is janky.
Yeah. Because, I'm not really sure why people think it's so hardcore, because, when I play it, you don't have to get beans, every 2 seconds. We played an entire whole night, I never even ate a can of beans. I was like, whatever, it's flashing red, I'm like, I'm fine.
Keep in mind, too, though, that
you
the private hive experience...
keeping your character going, Joel.
Yeah, but Joel, the private hive experience that's out there right now is not what the mod originally was. The experience is a lot different right now. And I'd argue that it's not the correct experience. And Dean, I think...
So maybe it'll be more punishing when it finally comes out.
Yeah.
I would agree. It's definitely not the experience it used to be. But right now, I'm fine with that because I've played the original experience enough, and since there wasn't really any in-game to it, I'm kind of done with the original experience. So I like seeing the mods that people come up with for DayZ to kind of expand on it while we're waiting for the main game. If the main game is actually really good, then it should be back to that core experience.
But we'll see. I agree.
You bring up end game, and that's something that's kind of interesting. This is something we've talked about a lot. We want DayZ to have better end game. But I kind of think that in a setting like this, with a game like this, I wonder, is there actual end game the way we have traditionally thought of it?
Yes, I think
the
there
answer,
is.
Really, I think it's very different, though. It's not there's a grand swelling conclusion and you save the world. It's nothing like that.
Well, what's the end game to
you? And use it, you get a car or a vehicle or some goal that you wanted to achieve. You use it, and it may or may not work out as well as you'd hoped, and your character is dead.
Yeah, but if you do that,
was the end game in the original DayZ.
But I'm just saying, how come you're not playing the game as much as you are at the start?
Because we've done with systems.
Well, not even because of that. I will obviously a lot of because of the multiplayer stuff, but I'm not playing as much because we have done so much of it. Okay, we've raided the airport, we've gone to this place, we've got a car, we've done everything. Where it's now we're just trying to come up with new ideas. What new ideas can we do that's going to be fun, right?
Because they haven't developed any systems for that. Yeah. That's the type of end game I'm talking about.
That's the end game we're talking about.
What I want is the ability to inhabit a town or build a base or whatever, set up your living area to actually be able to store stuff, to set up a community. Maybe to restore some semblance of society. That would be an end game to me.
Yeah, and I think that's what end game means for that.
If your advancement is not in kind of RPG style player stats, if your advancement and ranking up is your loot, then the obvious end game, like you guys said, is a good vehicle, maybe a helicopter, maybe a base or a town that you take over, a big campsite, and all that ties back to the persistence. You can't have that until the core game is centralized again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's true, but I really like the idea, the point that Jeremiah brought up. So much of the intro to DayZ experience is the environment has a profound and negative effect on you and your character. It's very harsh. It's very difficult. I think the end game to that is kind of the opposite of it coming around, where your character gets to a point where he is actually having an effect back on the world, making it livable again. Like that idea of having a house or a town or an area that he has brought back to comfortability, and that's kind of the end game. Which then it runs into the whole boredom issue of people just going out and killing each other because they don't actually want that narrative. But
then you could have people who, like, say you have a police force set up on that server, and they're sitting in the UAZ with a radio, waiting for people to radio in for help, and you could potentially have people with actual jobs and roles.
Yeah,
now, that's getting a little Second Life. I'm not sure if I want to spend that much time in it, but it's possible.
I'm on call tonight, honey.
It's possible. If they did that, like if they could get it to that level, I'd probably play DayZ for 2 years. I think, I could probably say I'd play it for 2 years. Who knows what they'll come up with after that?
On the note of the Hero Police Force, I'm not sure if this is still confirmed, but way back, probably 6 months or so ago now, they did confirm police cars as being a drivable vehicle, so pull over, bandit scum.
Yeah, because for Dave, he can jump in the game, and I'm amazed. He's totally fine with just going on and doing new things, because I'll play with you, and the thing that's I think is funny is we'll could be completely suited up, we'll have the coolest guns ever, and you still want to look for more loot. Where I'm like, I already have more than enough beans to last us for like 10 hours of gameplay. I'm like, I want to go do something. Where if they had like the ability to clear a town or kill the zombies and set up some sort of base, like I totally want to set up a market or something and sell cow meat or something to somebody. I don't know. Do something that's fun to me if you guys are not on playing, because it's honestly not that fun for me to play by myself if no one else is there, because I'm like, what am I gonna do? I guess I'm just gonna run around and survive. I'm not gonna spend 50 hours of my own time going to rebuild a whole town maybe by myself, but I might go get some supplies for you guys whenever you guys jump on, like the next day or something.
It's interesting.
Really cool go ahead, Chris.
Well, in each of these scenarios that we're talking about, endgame or something like that, or even in the way that we played the initial DayZ, like we're all trying to build up some kind of credit that's going to carry over between lives. Whether it's a cache of weapons, whether it's that kind of thing. Do you think that's something that the game maybe should support instead of players finding their own way to do it? Like, if there was like a cache account that you could carry between games that didn't necessarily...
What would it be caching? There isn't money. There's not a monetary system.
Say there could be. I mean, thinking big here. Should the game support... Because all of the players are trying to do that. I mean, and I don't think DayZ would do this, but...
I'm of the opinion that any kind of money or storage systems or anything like that, it needs to all be without breaking the fourth wall. That's the right phrase, right? The fourth wall?
Yeah.
Basically, it all needs to be in-game.
More than a respawn system already does.
Yeah, because you have the knowledge like in your head that when you respawn, you can go back and find your campsite and find some of your loot and all, but I don't know. I think that's as far as I want it to go.
Yeah, I agree with Dave. Although one thing I think would be really awesome is if you do change servers, you don't bring your gear with you at all. So if I'm on server number Chicago 500, everything I stays on that server. So when I go over,
the problem with that though is when a server's having issues. Like if a server goes down, then you can lose. You can lose a character you've been working.
No, you don't lose a character. You don't lose a character. I mean, you're going to be exactly where that character is, but you don't have that gear. I would like that just because I think it'd be more fun to say that's like your hometown.
Yeah, but if it goes down, what if you put 50 hours into fixing a helicopter?
But like it does all the time.
Yeah, nothing's stopping you from... Joel, like, why can't you just decide that this is your home server and you just stick there, and then if there's a problem with it, you can leave? Like, why does it have to be a gameplay restriction?
That's what we did, too. I mean, even when we weren't playing on private hives.
Yeah, we had Seattle for a while.
I'll tell you why it makes it. I'll tell you what makes a big difference. It's because if people learn, like Dave, it's like are in another server, or they have tons of ammo and everything. They just bring their whole troop over that's like massive, already ready. Where on this server, you've been spending hours trying to get stuff. Everyone kind of starts at the same kind of level again when you're on the map, or anyone who has been there already. You can kind of get to know better. I think it would work a lot better than having a bunch of random people. Yeah, it's going to suck on one side, but it would be really cool, though, because if you did own a lot of the Jeeps on that server, you're the one that owns it. Like, you don't, like, it doesn't save it, and then you go to another server, and then you're...
Well, that was always the case. Vehicles didn't go back and forth. I would just be worried, like, if you can't move gear from server to server at all, if that's not synced on your character, then... What if you had to switch servers
happened so many times where it loses itself
anyways. Where there's like a very militarized force of players on there, and no one can get on that server and do anything because they'll wipe you out before you have a chance to gear up.
Yep, they've got all the choppers, and every night they're going around and sweeping for vehicles. And
that's part of the problem.
Well, then we can finally do
that.
Yeah.
Well, see, in private hives right now, Joel, like you'll join a private hive that says 500 vehicles, but you can't find any because there's 60 clan members between a bunch of different clans who play like 4 hours a day, who have all the vehicles hidden away somewhere.
And I doubt most of those servers actually have that many vehicles. Like we were playing on one server that had 700 and something vehicles. You look at the map and evenly space out 700 dots on it, like you couldn't even hide all those up north. Unless there's
You'd be surprised. I found some stashes of like 30 cars that's owned by like 2 people. It's ridiculous. People hoard things like crazy. Okay, I hoard things like crazy, but even
I was going to say, you're kind of talking about looters here.
We never had more than like 3 or 4
problems.
cars. We never had more than like 3 or 4 cars at a time, though.
Yeah.
It's like me in Grand Theft Auto. I always have like 3 Ferraris at my place, so I can always take one
that's how
and
Chris
not
always
worry
plays
about
it.
it.
And I'm always just stealing. Like, if I make a car, if I make it halfway across the map in a car, I've done good. I destroy things so fast, and Chris is like saving cars, which is a novel concept. On Twitter, Atticus Gallo asks, or Gallo, depending on if you're Hispanic. I don't know Atticus, I'm sorry. What are your guys' views on the very good chance of DayZ standalone coming to PlayStation 4? What do you guys think about that?
Sweet, I can't wait.
Yeah, I think as long as the primary development is focused on PC, where they can kind of experiment a bit more, that when the game is at a point where it's mostly complete, definitely, port it. Everyone should be able to enjoy it. But I think for the development phase, I think it is important that it stays PC only, just because of that environment where they can just go crazy with some weird stuff that you can't do with the console release.
Yeah, it will take a little while.
And if there is a console release, they're going to miss out on a lot of the great mod support and stuff for DayZ. But
yeah. The core game should still be pretty awesome.
Yeah, the core game should be pretty good. So
what I'm not looking forward to is when it does come out on the PS4, all the PC people will just be really whiny, being like, "It's because it's on the PS4, they're slowing it down."
Yeah, see, it'd be one thing if it was developed for the PS4. I wish Battlefield's development was primarily PC, and it's not. And I deal with that. But to complain about a port from PC to a console, it's like, really? Why? Like, it's just bitter.
Yeah,
for no reason
I'm excited
at all.
to play it because I can sit on my couch and be scared alone in the woods by goats on my couch.
And rats, apparently, too.
3D slow motion rats. They probably have full AI and shadows and everything.
Plague rats.
So how awesome did you guys think it was that when in the dev blog, you bleed from where you got shot? I thought that was really cool.
That kind of worked in the mod, but it didn't work well. It was not consistent at all.
That one person was
But when
bleeding
it
out of
does
their
work,
face.
though, it's going to be awesome.
effects.
You know it's going to be hilarious when it's really working, though, because it's going to be like, Dave, your anus is bleeding.
I think it'll be really cool. If you shoot somebody, like if you hit somebody from 500 meters away, you'll be able to go up and, see how well you did.
Yes,
I think it needs to not be this, like, particle water fountain effect, and they need to, like, change it so it actually, like, clings to the character model. That would be nice.
Or just like spritz every once in a while.
Was it the exact same particle effect as the mod right now? I think it was.
It looked, it looked very similar.
I didn't notice.
Yeah. Pretty neat.
Something that's probably on their change list, but
yeah.
I want it to be way down the list. I got other stuff going on that I want them to work on.
I thought it was interesting that as part of the dev blog, they confirmed that the network bubble is basically the only real roadblock to alpha release, but at the same time, looking at the Twitter feeds and everything else, they're obviously still pouring tons of artwork and other work into the game. So, sure, we're waiting a bit longer, but by the time we get the alpha, the amount of content should be pretty staggering, I think.
Mm-hmm. Can I segue into something that directly relates to this?
Yeah, sure.
One of the comments, or one of my kind of questions or topics I was thinking about doing is, I think it was Chris that actually put this up in the email. Was it Chris or Steve that sent out the different ones? Because he didn't like my looting idea, but that's all right. About player feedback in game development, and I just wanted to say, okay, so like between each of us, like what are the pros and cons? And now talking about DayZ, I honestly think that it was awesome very early on for Arma 2, or when it was just early DayZ. But I feel like now he could have just jumped off the face of the world for a year. And then when the alpha comes back, or when he actually releases it, I think then open back up and then have feedback. But I think during this time, it would have been a lot better if he just said, hey, we're working on it. See you guys in a year.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Nothing really good has shown, because it's not like anyone is going to be able to go, hey, we haven't seen the game, so we can't really give any feedback. So it's
no one can really have constructive feedback.
Exactly, because they haven't really played it.
Have, you know, like some things they're putting out so that you can see they're working on it, just to kind of keep it in the consciousness that it keeps popping up in PC Gamer and in this. Just to say work is being done. Well,
just like screenshots and
Star Citizen's going crazy with all this. That's the one I'm most skeptical about, because they're involving the community like in everything.
They're involving them, but they don't seem to be bowing to their wishes that much. They seem to be involved in saying, this is what we're doing, but they don't seem to be going, what do you guys think about that? They seem to just be going, this is what we're doing. I think the problem with DayZ is Dean started out as a fan who then got to work on a game he loved and then got to develop a standalone version of a mod he made for it. And I think he was a little too chummy with the community at first, and people started feeling like they had more say in what was going on than they really did. When really, as a consumer, your say extends to you can buy it or you cannot buy it. But, you know,
I think people treated him like a god, and he was like, oh, this works great. And then they were like, I don't see any miracles yet. And then it's like, we hate you, you know?
Yeah, I think the real
pretty
problem
much how they go most of the time.
The main problem that I see with standalone was that there was a big issue of scope, where it started out being a standalone port of the mod. It was scrapped in December, and the whole entire scope of the project changed, whereas everyone's expectations didn't. So, like, internally, they're like, okay, we're starting over again, good things are going to happen, there's tons more work now, like, the whole scope has changed. Meanwhile, the outside internet is like, where's the alpha that was supposed to be out in December? Like, Chris mentioned PC Gamer. If you guys ever see DayZ News posted on PC Gamer right now, don't go to the comment section. It is a wasteland. Just the most uninformed, ignorant rage comments like, I can't believe you're still using the Arma engine. I'm never going to buy this. Like, it's been 8 months and this game's not finished yet. I lost interest months ago, yet here I am raging in the comments. Like, I mean, seriously, it's pretty bad. And I think IGN was the same way. Like, the gameplay footage gets posted, and for us,
the comment section of IGN. It's like the comment section of YouTube.
It's one thing for us. Like, we're kind of more informed about the development process and the roadblocks and how the scope of the whole thing has changed. So we can see the advances, but people who aren't familiar with the project are going like, "What am I looking at here? This looks terrible." Like, I don't know.
He needed to take the approach like when I show a video, like a commercial to a client, if I know, like, I rendered it and I'm getting ready to show it to him and I realize, oh crap, last minute, I not misspelled something, but like some tiny little tweak, right, you know, like that they're never going to notice. He's the kind of person who's like, well, guys, just to let you know, this is a great video, but don't forget that at the end, I made a few mistakes where if he didn't say that, it doesn't matter. Don't let them know, or don't show that, you know, like, just, that's why I think I was watching Assassin's Creed 4 game, like behind the dev blog or whatever it's called. And, they were showing off new graphics and stuff on it, and just the tech that goes behind the game. And it's so polished, and it's like, they want to show you the best parts of it. They're working on other pieces of it, but for him, it's like, dude, don't show some of the stuff that doesn't work very good. What do you expect you're going to get? Just people that go, hey, it's not working good. Duh. It's like, you know,
hindsight's 2020, but I think the best route for DayZ would have been in December to say, hey guys, we're changing the scope. You know, awesome things are ahead, but we're just going to go quiet. We're sorry, the alpha's not out, but it's for the best. You just got to be patient. And then we didn't hear anything until like this month, say, when he just like released a little mini trailer or something.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have been good. And I think that's why Star Citizen's doing a much better job. You know, I think DayZ, they let the community feel like they were a part of the game a little bit too much. But Star Citizen, the development feels much more like a AAA title, which, I mean, they're trying to make it a AAA title, but it feels much more like this is what we're doing. You are welcome to watch and participate in the things we let you participate in, but this is what we're doing. I mean, people will complain about AAA games, but nobody is commenting like they think that their opinion matters. People will just complain. But like, no one seriously comments on like a Call of Duty thing and thinks that the developers are going to take them seriously. You know, I mean, it's just not done. So, but with DayZ, people feel like it makes a difference. Why does my camera keep zooming in and out?
I think it has like an auto thing.
Dramatic
like,
camera
the
zoom.
Xbox Connect would do that when you web chat with someone. It would like zoom in on the person. Like, you'd walk around the house. It's like, oh god,
I'm getting dizzy.
Now, my question to you guys is, do you guys like this open back and forth dev stuff? Because for me, I honestly don't like it. Like, I think for people like us, and I think some people around the world that are really, you know, good at understanding things and don't like have super high expectations for everything and realize there's humans that build games, you know?
Have some humanity is what you're saying.
Exactly. Like, imagine this happening to Half-Life 3. Like, it sucks that I have not seen anything about this game, and it's not out yet.
Of course, we're talking about Half-Life 3.
90 seconds. No, but like, could you imagine? That would piss me off so much. Like, I don't want them to get my feedback on the game. Just make it. I want to see what they do. I don't want them to go, "Hey Joel, what do you want in this game?" Like, I don't know. I want everything, but you know best. Like, they know best. They've made these games. Like, I feel like we're just creating more monsters. I feel like we're creating internet monsters by saying, "What do you guys want?"
I'll agree with that.
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree.
I think the community does have, valid input, but yeah, I would completely agree. I think there's definitely a point where it goes overboard. So they really need to be like, yes, we're open to feedbacks from this here to here, and then we're going dark.
Feedback
exactly.
about small particular areas. Like, hey guys, what do you guys think about the clothing system? How would you like, you want lots of clothes options, very few clothes options, keep it like,
and that's
what you do with toddlers.
AAA games have been doing forever. It's called QA testing.
Yeah.
I'm really nervous about, because I'm going to be doing a test of my film when it's finally done, at least the first draft. And I'm kind of nervous, but it's because I'm making sure my list of questions is I want people to say, hey, what can I change this? Did you understand this? But it's crazy some of the stuff you get, though. I've been in other testings where people are like, just redo the whole thing. I'm like, okay, I'll just go respend $100,000 to redo everything. It's like, yeah, because, it's just, if you leave it open-ended, people just go crazy, where it's like, it'd be awesome to redo it if it really made it a lot better, but we honestly can't. So what can we do with this to make it better?
It's like going back to the PC Gamer comments on DayZ, where he posted videos showing like the inventory and the new damage system and the new like handcuffing and all. And the first comment's like, the Arma 2 engine is stupid and you're stupid for using it. Like, well, first of all, it's not the Arma 2 engine anymore, but this is totally unrelated. This is not helpful feedback.
Right. Yeah, it's like, they started it on it. They got really far. It's like, it's hard to kind of back out because that's all they know right now. So.
Well, people have to realize like that's their vision. They're asking for feedback on the way their vision's going, not on their vision in general. Their vision is still going to happen. They're working on their vision. So if you don't like their vision, that's fine. You don't have to. And then the proper response is to not pay for it, because that is how, that's how you support things, is you pay for the ones you think are worth it. If you don't like the vision, fine, don't like it. But you don't expect them to change their vision because you don't like it. If you think their vision could be executed a little better and they ask for your opinion on that, sure. But it's not, your vision is not theirs, and they're the one doing the actual creating, so shut up.
I've got one last topic, if we have time.
We probably need to be wrapping it down, unless it's a short topic.
We can see, what happens if it goes long? Are you going to punish me? Can we ban from the podcast?
Well, actually, you still have to do your 90 seconds where you tell that story from before.
What story?
I don't know. Something...
Don't give him an opening. He already talked about Half-Life 3. He's good.
Talk about it. You said you're going to talk about it on the podcast. Something we were going to talk about. I don't know. It was right before we went live.
Now Joel needs more coffee.
Okay. This topic was: what are some of your favorite game mechanics? As in, gravity gun, game physics, a specific jump or a move that a character makes, or something that makes that game really enjoyable for you. Like that's the game.
I like games where I feel fast.
That's cool. Any specific game?
Like Just Cause 2, when you're like flying around with the grapple and parachuting off stuff and like ripping into cars and things, it's all very fluid and quick. Like if you had the mechanics of say Arma and you're playing Just Cause, scroll, open your parachute, scroll, parachute, aim, or suck yourself into a car, scroll to hijack, and then start driving. And this is just like one button. It goes
scroll to hijack,
jumps into it. And goes. Or what was the game? Prototype. Prototype was really fun because you're like, hey, just run down the street, jump 100 feet in the air, come down, create a tidal, like a shockwave, kill 30 people, eat 2 of them, jump in the air, cut someone in half, and run over to the next building in like 3 seconds.
Sounds kind of awesome. I've never played it.
It is. It's pretty shallow.
It is if you want to feel like a superhero, because it's totally not balanced.
A really bad...
Yes, it's not a very good game, but it makes you feel very powerful.
What about you, Chris? What's your favorite game mechanic?
I like Jeremiah's answer, so I'm going to pick something kind of in the same vein, and I'm going to go skiing from Tribes Ascend.
Tribes Ascend, the failed game.
It's so good though.
and by skiing, do you mean like that really fast running thing? Kind of like
it's
glitch?
not running, but it's basically making your character
Like
almost
kind of slide.
frictionless,
Yeah.
so you can be moving at like 200 kilometers an hour across a map, chasing somebody and shooting at them at the same time. It's beautiful.
I played a little bit of that in like a Half-Life mod once. Is Tribes? What is Tribes from?
Well, the original Tribes was in like the early 2000s or something, late 90s. When was the original?
I haven't heard
Tribes?
about it. I never played it though. But that's cool. I've done something like that before, and it was pretty awesome. It's like crazy. Like everyone's like flying around, like doing loops and stuff. I'm like, what the heck? They're just but you see, they're in Half-Life. Their legs are like.
Which I always like that about like Unreal Tournament too, when you turn on like quad jump and low gravity, because it's like you're flying, and like it reminds me of Descent, where instead of just being like, you know, a 2-directional movement plane, you kind of add the third in there, and it just gets like so much more frantic.
You, my friend, I think you're gonna need to get Titanfall. That game's looking really awesome.
It looks good. Yeah.
Yep. Same kind of thing.
What about you, Dave? Looting.
And the developer invented looting, and it was good. Actually, I'm gonna say, and the first example I can think of is Bad Company 2. First time I got really into a multiplayer shooter that used a ballistic base instead of a hit scan based weapon system, where you had like realistic recoil based off the animation of the firearm, as well as bullet drop. Like, it just totally changed the feel of the game. Like sniping and even machine guns, like everything just felt like real and more skill based. Well, I guess that kind of takes away from the skill based of hit scan shooters, where it like literally is all about your skill. It adds some of the random factor, but I like the random factor. So that's me.
I think that was one of the first times in games, like I remember shooting guns and being like, oh my goodness, it just feels so good and different and physical.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was really interesting and kind of weird. I think the first time I played Bad Company 2, I think that was when I met Dave. He was playing that like every day. So I was like, I'll try this out.
I always have a Battlefield
I was like,
game
yay,
installed.
my computer can't run it. But yeah, that was cool. What about you, Steve?
Well, when Chris and I first talked about these topics, I don't know if this really counts as a game mechanic, verbiage I've never used, but kind of the games that first really drew me in as a teenager were kind of the Age of Empire type ones, the resource management. Civilization is really, the game that I loved and played all the time, because it wasn't just about gathering up a big army and going in and killing everyone, but there's also that fine balance you had to maintain of keeping everybody happy in your cities, of managing taxes and production and what's going on in all of these different places. And Endless Space is a lot like that too, and I've liked that game a lot. But there's just so much more intricacy and complication to the game than your typical staters or whatever else you're playing. Even those are all fun, but that's kind of the mechanic I've always really enjoyed.
Resource management.
I think it's a hard choice, but I think I'm gonna have to go through with Fallout 3, the slow-mo when you get a shoot.
Mm-hmm.
VATS. Oh man, especially the first couple times doing that was so cool. Because I saw The Matrix late, because I wasn't able to watch that kind of movie.
Late bloomer.
Yeah, I was late bloomer. Went with my mom. No, I love that. Just like slowing down, and because it was the best. Because I'm always such a douche with it too. Because like I'd always walk up as close as possible to get the best, highest chance, like really close. And the gun would somehow like kind of like go up into their face, and it would just be like, brah.
I would just only have like a 60% chance of hitting them.
yeah. I never shot like their hands or legs or feet. It was always straight in the face. Yeah,
good.
That was a cool mechanic. It was just cool because it was slow motion. It was nothing more satisfying than killing a Cazador.
I like that in Max Payne 3, the slow motion thing, where you kind of just tag all of them in a row and then watch them all drop at the same time. It's great.
Oh, is it similar to the Red Dead Redemption system? Is that how it works?
Yeah. Pretty similar, yeah.
Okay.
That combined with the awesome particle effects in that game, that was pretty sweet.
I still need to play that. They need to release the Steam sharing thing so I can just borrow it from you guys.
I beat that one actually. I was rather impressed. Like it wasn't anything amazing, but it was quite enjoyable. Yeah.
Let's put the biggest
really solid and like a story that didn't leave me bored.
Yeah, I'm almost done with it. It's been great.
That's the biggest thing that's put a slowdown on my beating or playing all the games in my library before I buy any more is Sleeping Dogs for the same reason. It's got like a really awesome combat, the slow motion, the really cool story and stuff. So everything else has been on hold for like 3 weeks while I play that. But it's good.
I really need to try that. I need to
It's a
download
really
the
good
demo.
game. There's so much DLC. There's $50 of DLC. There's like 20 DLC packs.
Yeah,
Those are
that's a
$3 or
bit
$4
much.
a piece. I don't think I'm gonna play all those, but the game's
That's
really
there
still not as much as Battlefield
I don't know.
4.
It's like Be Jackie Chan mod.
All right, as we wind down this evening, you can follow us all on the normal places: Germ Gaming, Evil Viking 13, Evil Viking on Twitter, Casual Shenanigans on Twitter, or right into the show, Casual Shenanigans at gmail.com. You follow Joel at Boundless MP. Chris and Steve don't like to be followed.
Good advice.
Chris, you don't have a Twitter, do you?
No.
It doesn't really matter. I don't use mine much. I was just curious. It occurred to me like you might have a Twitter I didn't know about. But
No.
I actually do, but I don't ever check it.
Oh, well then I'm not gonna follow you. So there. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching this evening. Thank you to everyone who came out and watched. Thank you to everyone who listens later. As always, send us your questions, comments, things like that. And next week, the podcast might be a little bit different because some of us are going to be away on vacation. So we're going to try to do it remotely. If that doesn't work out, it might just be like me, Chris, and Steve talking about something totally off topic. So,
Hey, last shout out, Harry Potter. There's a new movie coming out. Did you hear about it?
I heard about this today. What's that all about?
About making a movie based off of the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. One of the books the characters read that's for school. And it's going to be about the author who wrote it.
all right,
Right
guys.
now
Well,
it's
thank you
a
for
magical Indiana Jones. 1920s New York. 1920s New York.
I don't want to watch magical Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's not the best way to sell it for me there, Joel.
Yeah.
Screw you guys. I'm going alone.
And on that bombshell, it's time to end.
See you guys.
See you
Good
guys.
night.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bon voyage.